Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm BellaImelda, and today we're going to be doing a mass meditation, and I will be sending Reiki in honor of the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks on America. I think with everything going on right now that we're seeing politically and on a global scale, this is a particularly emotional issue for people, especially for veterans and people who love America. So I felt it was really important now that we take a moment together and do this meditation and do this Reiki healing in honor of those who lost their lives on September 11th, 2001, and for the people who are still dying today. I am recording this on the 9/9 portal to really get a boost with the energy and get a jump on this energy and healing today. I also have my 12D plasma pyramid that we'll be using and working with, and my blue lapis lazuli obelisk we're also going to be working with, just to heighten the energies and direct the energies and set intention. I got this pyramid, if anyone's interested, from newearthhealingessentials.com. I love it. I use it in all of my meditation work. It's a manifester. It's a energy generator. So I thought we should use it today to kind of just boost up and accelerate the energy that we're working with. Today is also Thursday, which is a heart chakra day. So all these things working together will just give us an extra leg up to make this meditation and healing more meaningful. This healing is really meant as a loving symbol to bring people together and for us to really just close our eyes and get to the root core and understanding that we really are all human beings when it comes down to it. My intent with this meditation is to just infuse a little bit of that remembrance that we're all one, and how everything that happens, even if it's on the other side of the world, it affects us. It affects us all. So I wanted to send Reiki today to honor those who lost their lives, send healing to the families who were affected, do this meditation to honor those who've been lost, and to the people who then died later on trying to clean up this mess. There's obviously a nefarious force behind all of this in one way or another, but what I want to focus on today is sending love and support during this emotional time where we're coming up on the 20th anniversary and also seeing Afghanistan fall to the Taliban. This is just bringing up a lot for everybody. I feel a lot of things changed for our world after this event. A lot of things were set into motion that day, coming from the dark side. And now we're really in the middle of this great awakening for humanity that we're all going through and experiencing. Now's a really good time to just reflect on that energy coming back around and putting the intention out there to flip it. If we could all have real answers, I feel, about what happened that day and leading up to it, and get more clarity, if we could all just get on the same page as human beings, then we'd really be able to take humanity forward into this awakening and have it be less painful, hectic, traumatic the way that we're seeing now. The consciousness is just frenzied right now. But taking humanity forward into this awakening involves opposing those dark forces at work here. And this opposition is done by holding the light within each of us, holding that high vibration, working to not create more chaos and strife in the collective, something we all have to deal with, the energies. It's really hard for empathic people to see the atrocities and see pain and suffering and not get angry and furious at those responsible. It's really hard for us to maintain positive vibrations through all of this. It's really, truly a test. And that's creating a lot of anger for starseeds and awake individuals. It's a really hard line to walk in balance, because the dark side, they want us to be in those lower frequencies. They want us fighting over who done it and not coming together as humanity. They want to create separation and keep us separate and fighting each other. So just remember that. Just remember that we're responsible for the frequency we put out, and that's going to establish and define the whole collective consciousness. And it's, like I said, not easy, but one tool we can use is the act of and the practice of detaching and becoming the observer. I know most of you have probably heard this before, but when you really dive into this idea where you're removing the emotional investment in something and remembering you're an infinite being down here in a meat suit having an experience, and if you can kind of pull back up into your higher self and look down at us like sim characters, it makes it easier to sever the emotional connection when things get really tough. And just remember that we're infinite beings. After this short life, we will live on, and we will take the knowledge that we learn here. We should always be working to get the most out of everything we can through our experiences on Earth while we're here. I just wanted this meditation to sort of infuse a little bit of light and comfort and commiserate with the people that were affected directly by 9/11 and the events after, just by holding space and recognizing the tragedy and the atrocity of it all. You know, just taking a minute to not suffer in it, but hold space and honor it. Honor what those people went through, and for the soldiers who lost life and limb because of this, and their families, and all the emotional trauma that the event inflicted on our planet as a whole, where we can still feel these waves reverberating 20 years later. We recently, I feel, have been doing the exact opposite of honoring this moment by, you know, what's going on right now in Afghanistan. And I want to avoid that topic because, honestly, I really feel called to be a voice right now, even if it's lost in the wind. I do just want to hold that frequency of accountability and peace. The event never should have even happened. None of this should. Wars should not be happening, but they do. And what we do now and how we process and move forward defines everything. So I feel like we can all feel that sense of something hanging in the balance, like the collective is waiting for the other shoe to drop. We're waiting for justice and truth and happiness and peace to reign on this planet, and everybody's sort of just like hanging on the edge. Well, I'm here to tell you to just keep hanging on, because it is coming, but we have to be the ones that bring it. So let's get started. I am going to cast a bubble of white protective light all around us now. I want to clear the space and call in our guides, galactic counterparts, higher selves, everybody to come in, all the positive beings assist in this meditation and healing today. So I want to project this bubble of white protective light, again, all around us. And this protective bubble seals out all negative energies. It encases us in this protective shield and blocks out any negative, unseen entities to seek entry. This body is of the light. Only the light may be here. All else must go. I'd like to call in my guides to join us today. Any higher galactic counterparts, our higher selves, the higher selves of all those participating. I'd like to call in our past, future, and parallel selves, as well as the ancestors and any deceased loved ones who wish to be here today, especially any deceased victims or anyone who's crossed over who was involved in the 9/11 attacks or the events after. Please come forward if there's any messages that need to come through, any information that needs to come through to provide comfort or clarity, or maybe even some hope for what's coming for the future for the beings who are still on the planet right now. I would like to call in the elementals, the spirits, and fairies in a request to assist us in this healing with love. I'd like to call in the angels, archangels, and ascended masters to watch over and assist. Please deliver any messages that need to come through today. I release any blockages that are holding me back from my happiness or my development. I choose to cleanse myself and release any and all negative thought forms, outdated contracts, or lingering negative energies that may be present which are no longer serving us for the highest good. All negative energies, unseen influences, or thought forms must go in love. We wish you love and open up a pathway of light for all those who wish to enter so you may be guided back home to the light. I call upon the Creator, Source, our higher selves, and the angelic realms to assist in protecting all those involved in this healing and meditation today. Please surround all of our homes in love and light and disallow any negative, unseen forces entry. Provide us with protection, create a space of love and healing, and surround us with an armor of light. May we be fully supported in all that we do as we do the work of the light. Please allow the highest potential healing today to be received by all who are open to it in the highest form of light and love possible. I choose to remember and experience and know that I am sovereign, I am free, I am unity, we are love. And so it is. So I'll be doing a guided meditation, and I will be sending Reiki. Then I'd like to pull a few oracle cards to provide a little bit of guidance and insight into this situation. I don't think I'm going to do any tarot pulls today because I know that will pull me down into a conspiracy rabbit hole, and I want to avoid that. The session today is really more about providing healing and comfort to those who need it right now. We're really feeling it right now in honor of the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and kind of just holding that positive vibration as we collectively as a planet are bracing for something. So, if everyone's ready, go ahead and light some candles or incense, burn some sage. I would get some tea or water to have. And then when you're ready, please just sit back and relax and enjoy this beautiful meditation. We are listening to autumn forest ambiance music today. And I really want to thank you all for being here and for participating in this meditation, holding space for our fellow man. You know, it's something we all really need right now. So please close your eyes and take 2 deep breaths with me. I'm going to connect now and begin sending Reiki while I'm doing the meditation. You should be able to feel the Reiki begin flowing through you, so just relax and allow the healing to take place, and just be open to receive. Take another deep breath. So we're going to return to the meadow where we always venture to for our meditations. If you've listened to any of my previous videos, you'll be familiar. So now envision yourself in this meadow. It's wide open and it has mountains around on all the sides. And it's got this calm creek nearby. The sky is deep, deep blue and sunny. and the flowers are all in bloom all around you. The leaves are starting to turn as well, a little orange. And it's so peaceful. You're sitting in the middle of this meadow, completely by yourself, completely calm, at peace, and holding complete love in your heart. So take a moment now to think about something or someone that you love, and hold them in your heart and envision how much you love them filling you up. It could be a pet, someone you just really love, or something, or a place you really love. And then just hold that frequency for a moment in your heart if you can. And then throughout this meditation, try to keep coming back to this feeling, and then hold it as long as you can each time in your heart. Maintaining this vibration within us is going to make the meditation and the healing extended and more potent and powerful. This is always the prime vibration we want to reach and then hold as long as we can, that feeling of just unconditional love. So you're sitting with your eyes closed now, feeling the sun on your face in this meadow and love in your heart, and you're just appreciative to be alive. You can see the meaning of life sitting there in that beautiful meadow. And you hold love and you honor all those who never get to experience this feeling. We want to now picture a beautiful violet flame erupting in your heart, within your heart chakra. Feel it burning and flickering. See the beautiful purples and violets spilling off the flame as it moves and it's alive. You look deep within the flame and you see healing God energies. With that love still in your heart and this purple flame flaming wildly, you begin to pull all of the sadness you feel within your body, all of the negative or stagnant energies, you pull all of that into the flame itself. So don't fear these energies. The violet flame is going to dissolve them. Begin pulling all of the negative energy you no longer need that you've been carrying into the center flame, and watch as it singes and burns. Take a deep breath and allow yourself a moment to release. Watch as each troubling heartbreak dissolves in the heat of the sacred violet flame. Feel yourself burning and emerging anew. It's not painful, it actually feels really good and cathartic. So just breathe through it. Pull the energies up from your toes, up into your knees, then your hips, and then up into your belly. And then pull the energy from the top of your head into your face, neck, down into your chest, until both sides meet at this violet flame in your heart chakra. And then watch it burn. Once you feel that layer of energy begin to dissolve, relax and take a deep breath. Feel the energy flowing through your body. Now notice the difference in how you feel and how the energy feels. You may feel lightheaded, but you feel more empowered. You feel inspired and love and ready to reach to face what's coming next. This is the type of energy that we want to harness and send out today during our meditation. We want to use this violet flame in assistance, dissolving any negative energy we can for us and all other beings on this planet who are struggling at this time. So we reach forward now and we pull that violet flame and our heart chakra out. So it's no longer a part of us and it's outside of our body. Do it carefully and notice how the flame feels in your hands. Hold the flame out in front of you, cupping it in your hands. And take a moment and appreciate its beauty and power. Just visualize that violet flame. This is the essence we all have inside of us. It's our God force. We can always return here and then channel this energy by envisioning it and imagining it. We can always come back. These are tools and spaces we can always go back to. So we want to hold this space and send love and appreciation now for the soldiers and the families who've sacrificed everything, keeping America safe. Begin now to imagine pulling in the pain and suffering from the collective, not into yourself, but channeling it into that violet purple flame in front of you. Just visualize it, sucking it in from the collective consciousness. We now ask that all unnecessary pain, outdated contracts, and stagnant emotional pent-up energies be collected and released now from the collective and be consumed by this violet flame. We ask for peace, healing, and love to permeate this planet and reside in the hearts of those involved in the 9/11 tragedies. We send love and comfort now to those still affected by these world wars. We ask for protection to those vulnerable in Afghanistan and everywhere else abroad. Please bring answers and awareness, understanding to those seeking. We honor those now who died and those who assisted, the emergency response teams and the firefighters, all the families and the collective as a whole who held space during this time. We all have emotional, energetic issues surrounding this event, no matter where we are, no matter who we are. We all can feel it. And now is the time to release that energy back into the universe. Allow this violet flame to consume it and transmute it. The negative energy is now alchemizing. We're returning it to the collective in the form of renewed purpose and clarity. With this, I want to take a moment to send Reiki healing now for physical and emotional pain that was incurred by veterans, by the families, and all those directly connected to the 9/11 event. There was a lot of physical trauma, a lot of mental trauma, and emotional issues that will never be completely alleviated from the collective. But for now, we hold space. And we hold that love in our hearts, and we call in now the Ascended Masters, positive galactic forces to please assist us now, today. You can feel them now. May all those responsible, whether domestic or abroad, be brought to justice. We as a human collective deserve and demand truth. We demand sovereignty. We deserve a full disclosure about the truths surrounding these events. As a nation, we need this to heal and move on. No more secrecy and control. We are adult, sovereign humans, and we deserve the truth, and we hereby demand it. If people could understand the truth about this event, and if that means their reality bubbles are shattered, so be it. This is what we need on our planet, because it will create an opening in people's minds to accept more of the truth about all the things we've been lied to. We gift this violet flame to all those struggling, who need assistance. We hold space in our hearts and love in our bones. Envision now the healing and justice on this planet. Watching the calamity and confusion dissipate. Every day we picture this future for humanity, and every day we are drawn that much closer to it. Even as bad as it looks on our planet, we're just witnessing the old system dying out. This creates the room for birth of a new. We're witnessing right now the old control mechanisms fail. We're shining a light and we're watching the cockroaches scatter. We're watching the position of the enemy. The final red button being pushed that destroys all their data and the evidence against them, and one last final ditch effort to escape the fate of the karma they imposed on themselves. We're witnessing the evil on the planet behave like a child when they're caught misbehaving. If they can't have their choice, no one can, and they stomp on them and destroy them. That is what we're seeing. A self-destruct button. They know they've lost, and now they're trying to do everything they can to either cover their own asses or destroy the planet in the process. But we, as sovereign collective humanity, are not going to allow that to happen. We need to recognize the power that each sovereign human has on the planet in this. We can hold space. And if we do that and agree to not participate in the dark agendas, we move one step closer to peaceful humanity. There are way more of us than there are of them. If they can keep us in the dark state of consciousness, then we'll never break free and use our collective consciousness positively to create the positive future we desire. When we slip down into the negative frequencies, that's exactly what the negative polarity wants. We win when we gather in groups and positive love and pray, despite our differences, and we just laugh together. Laughter is a poison to the negative beings. We must make an effort to remain out of a state of fear. Hold love. The ultimate fear is fear of death, and that is how they control us. The spoiler alert is that we all die someday. So we might as well stop fearing this inevitability and just live our life. A life that we can be proud of, and one that our descendants can be proud of when we're gone, because we all will be. Why waste years and years living in fear? We must hand the world over to the younger generations better than we received it. And if we can live each day fighting for freedom and what's true and right, if we were all to do this, this is what flips the tide for the people. It's when they awaken and decide they're ready to stand up into their sovereignty and join together in love on this planet. And we need to do this before it's too late. So today, that's exactly what we're doing. We're gathering all of us etherically in this meadow space that we've created inside of our minds and consciousness. All of us meditating together and envisioning this reality. We can make it so we can dissolve our pain, negative energies using this violet flame. And then we can hold love and understanding in our heart for our fellow man. Even the dark ones. We should always respond by sending them love, not more darkness. That's how you stop perpetuating the cycle. So send any last bit of energy you're feeling come up for you right now as one final push into this violet flame that we have and we're holding in our hands. Just release it. Your fear, your tension, your confusion, all the mental anguish that you keep reliving and replaying. Release it now into the violet flame and watch it be transmuted and sent back into the collective as pure love. We honor all of those who've died and who fought and who continue to fight, even no matter what they're up against. Certain death, being ostracized by their family and friends. Stay true, soldiers, because the planet needs you. This is why you're here. This is why you're alive and you were born. To witness all these atrocities as a human. Make the decision through free will that you do not consent to this reality. Awaken within yourself, heal your trauma, come together with like-minded star seeds and soul family, pulled together, and then as a collective, we simply stand up with our consciousness all connected in love, and we say no. No more evil, no more war, no more death. Just happiness, freedom, prosperity. And we bless America. And we bless the whole world. So when you're ready, please pull your consciousness back into your body. Envision yourself in the meadow one final time. Move your hands to the violet flame before you dissipates. It's always within you, and you can always return here and pull it back out of you, but pull your attention now back into the physical, leaving the meadow with a promise to return. Try to begin wiggling your toes and moving your hands in your face. Go ahead and open your eyes when you're ready and fully come back into your body. Take a few deep breaths with me now. Now is a good time to have some water, some tea. Take a moment to just breathe and be present. It's 11:11 a.m. Notice the difference in your body energetically now. And notice the difference in your mental state and framework if you feel any more clarity. And then just pull that inner smile in and feel that love we pulled into our hearts at the beginning of the meditation. Just hold that love within you, and then hold that inner smile with the corners of your lips slightly turned up. You may feel a little lightheaded or woozy. That's totally normal. Just relax and breathe. Have some water. Envision yourself grounding in. I'm going to work, well, we have been, but I'm going to work now with the 12D pyramid. Really placing the intention in here of peace within ourselves in a micro sense, and then also within the collective in a macro sense. This is the intention and the love we send out. I can really feel that. Okay. So let's do some oracle pulls. I have a few questions, some general questions I wanted to pose about the energies and what we should expect coming as a collective. So let's just kind of see what comes up. I'd like to first pull from my Osho deck. I wanted to ask about the state that the collective is in energetically right now. That was really the first thing I wanted to take the temperature of the collective. So again, this is the Osho Zen Tarot deck. Oh my gosh. Just got chills. I always get chills when I do oracle cards. I was getting chills too before in the meditation a couple times. So I pulled Rebirth. So this is the state of the collective energetically right now, which is very appropriate. Okay, so let's see what this card is all about. So the card has a lion on it and a child emerging from the lion playing music. So this card depicts the evolution of consciousness. There's 3 levels spoken of by Friedrich Nietzsche: the camel, the lion, and the child. Okay, yeah, so there's a camel on the card too. The camel is sleepy, dull, self-satisfied. He lives in delusion, thinking he's a mountain peak, but really he's so concerned with others' opinions that he hardly has energy of his own. Emerging from the camel is the lion. When we realize we've been missing life, we start saying no to the demands of others. We move out of the crowd, alone and proud, roaring our truth. This is not the end. Finally, the child emerges, neither acquiescent or rebellious, but innocent and spontaneous and true to his own being. I feel like that represents like 5D. Like 3, 4, 5D. The camel's 3, the lion's 4, the child's 5. Whatever the space you're in right now, sleepy and depressed or roaring and rebellious, be aware that it will evolve into something new if you allow it. It's a time of growth and change. That is so spot on. I mean, the collective, we have the unawakened, which are the camels, and then we have the awakened and the pissed off, which is the lions. But where we're heading as a collective is this great awakening where we, no matter what, we become the child who's, playing music and innocent and pure 5D consciousness. So yeah, where we're at as a collective right now is rebirth. That is absolutely 100% true. Okay, so what does the collective need to know now to move forward? So for this, I think let's do Inner Child deck, since we just had that child theme come up already. So what does the collective need to know now to move forward? It is time to give. It is time to treat yourself and or others to something magical, mystical, and fantastical. What the treat consists of is not as important as the spirit in which it's enjoyed. When thinking of the perfect something, reflect on how it would make you feel. Does it connect to you, to your feelings of wonder and joy? If so, you've got a winner. So that's kind of what I was saying before, is just like trying to exist in this higher vibration. And usually we find that higher vibration by giving to others, especially for people who are depressed or anxious or just generally unhappy and you can't find joy with what's going on around you or in yourself. We tend to be able to find joy by giving to others, and that's a really good, what does the collective need to know to move forward? Give to others. Stop being selfish. Okay, so let's also pull a Divine Feminine card for the same question. What does the collective need to know now to move forward? I mean, these cards, this is the Divine Feminine deck. So each card is a goddess who represents a different frequency. So maybe we could ask which frequency of which goddess should we try to embody now as a collective, as individuals too, and as a collective. But, you know, who is really... Okay, so I just got Rabia, the Queen of Saintly Women. I'm in service of divine love. I move the way love asks me to move. Okay, so if it's about love, it's very... We all should be holding that frequency if we can. So let's see what specifically this goddess has to say. So she represents a rare, pure love that doesn't seek anything other than simply to love. She was one of the most influential Sufi women in Islamic history. Interesting. She's a Muslim saint and a Sufi mystic who lived in the 8th century in Basra, present-day Iraq. Well, this meditation is centered around the Middle East. On the night she was born, her father had a vision of Muhammad. He told him, "Your newly born daughter is a favorite of the Lord and shall lead many Muslims to the right path." When Rabia was still just a little girl, her father died, and she was then sold into slavery. She would pray every night to be released so that she could spend the hours of her day in service of Allah, the Arabic word for God. When her master overheard her prayers and saw that she was illuminated with light as she prayed, he realized she was a saint. He released her immediately. She went into the desert and worshipped in solitude. She became known as the Queen of Saintly Women because of the purity of her love and devotion to Allah. She set forth the doctrine of divine love. Her poetry emphasizes her desire to worship for the sake of loving Allah and not for personal gain. In one of her poems, she said, oh, so that kind of goes back to the last card, not being selfish, just being in the frequency of love, focus on service to others, stop focusing on service to self. In one of her poems, she says, I carry a torch in one hand and a bucket of water in the other. She wants to set fire to heaven and put out the fires of hell. I love that. I love that. So that love seeks no gain except to be in service of love itself. She explains, I do not want to worship from fear of punishment or for the promise of reward, but simply for the love of Allah. When your soul selects her card, in her lifetime she embodied a freedom that divine love offers us. If we see her life as a metaphor of the soul's progression, she went from slavery to sainthood by devoting herself to Allah. Her only concern was the love that she could give to God. Her every action was motivated by her devotion to God, and through it she received the greatest spiritual gift, self-realization. So I feel like when we can get out of the ego and focus on the collective, then we're rewarded by the universe. When we stop trying to get things and receive and focus on just loving and giving, the universe will reward us with all of the things we wanted anyway. We need to just let go of the ego and the mind and the selfishness. Although it can be very difficult, loving without expectations is a profound spiritual practice. More often, our love for someone is loaded with ideas of who that person needs to be for us. But divine love is unconditional. It's a love that seeks only to love. No hidden agendas, no strings attached. Rabia relates in one of her poems, prayer should bring us to an altar where no walls or names exist. This meditation, coming into the void of nothing, where everything's created. Each time we're able to love someone or ourselves without conditions to that love, we arrive at this altar within us. We free them and ourselves. We remember what Rabia knew so well, that to love just for the sake of loving lets the divine act through us. Yeah, so when you can clear up your crap, you can allow yourself to be a channel of love for the universe to manifest through you. So the next one, what is the theme of the next 2 months for all those watching? So if you're watching today and participating, this card's for you. I'm going to pull from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. And this is a specific message to you. This is probably my favorite deck. I really like the Halloween one too, though. We're going to do that one in a minute. Oof, okay. We got the Wasp spirit. So it says, sometimes life stings. Alright, let's see. Not all that spirit creates in nature is easy to love. But when we look through the eyes of Wasp spirit, we recognize that even though sometimes life stings, there is a purpose for pain, just as there is a purpose for wasps in the natural world. Wasps keep insect population down, supporting the growth of plants. So too, the sting of life may hurt, and you may feel deeply disappointed or even resentful that Wasp spirit has shown up, but you will soon come to see that spirit has something wonderful in store for you. You may well come to realize that being stung led to something far better than you had envisioned for yourself. Perhaps behind the scenes, Wasp spirit was conspiring with spirit to ensure that you could grow something of value to you. Spirit has a plan, and Wasp spirit plays a part. Have you ever looked back and been glad your prayers weren't answered because the path you took led to something far better? Wasp spirit is a reminder to reflect on those times, for today's sting may hurt, but something better awaits you. Are you holding on to anger, jealousy, or resentment because you got stung? Or could you have just stung yourself by comparing yourself to others? There will always be something or someone who is more successful, happier, thinner, richer, etc. Jealousy is the false belief that you can't have what you want, or someone could take away something that was supposed to be yours. Let it go and release those feelings. They're making the sting hurt worse long after the stinger's been removed. Yep, it's like holding on to poison. Wasp spirit has spoken and woken you up now, and now you're called to trust that disappointment can lead you to a different and better path. Align with spirit now and trust that this too shall pass, and is already doing so, for the pain subsides when you stop telling the story of how much it hurt. Whew. That's pretty deep. That hits home. Yeah, it's really just trusting and, releasing and surrendering to what's supposed to happen, because anything that was truly meant for you would not have left, And it will always bring better. It will always bring you lessons. It will always enrich you. And you may not see it right now, but that's the truth of it. This is a process, we're all going through this awakening and cracking each layer of our shell open and becoming vulnerable, and then surrendering to the universe. And then the universe, it's like falling down the waterfall, and when you land on a soft cloud. Like the universe will catch you. You just have to stop clenching. That's what I feel, at least. Okay, so next, is there anything I'm missing or forgetting to look at? Let's pull the Halloween card deck. Anything I'm missing or forgetting to look at? Okay, so I pulled the apple. I don't know if this is like poison apple, but it says risk and reward. So this is what we're forgetting to look at. Apple. Okay. Sweetest icon, risky red desire, poison and freedom, tempting hearts afire. Risk and reward. Apples have been a symbol of Samhain for a very long time. That's Halloween. Apples, when cut in half, have a seed pattern that looks like a pentagram, and so the Celts held the fruit to be sacred. Bobbing for apples, the game traditionally played at Halloween, has its origins in the Samhain festival, and is one of the oldest associated with its celebration. Apples have been an iconic part of mythos from ancient times to modern. The story of the poisoned apple in Snow White, to the Roman goddess Pomona's magical apple tree, to the Christians' tempting fruit in the Garden of Eden. Should you receive this apple in your reading, it's time to look at how risk plays out in your life. Are you hedging your bets and not trying anything new? Do you want change but not willing to change anything? Are you willing to risk to get a greater reward? Or alternatively, are you risking too much too often? So that's interesting. I feel this kind of talks about the laziness and the collective and the complacency. We've all kind of gotten to this point where we like being ordered around because then we don't have to, do anything. It's just this like apathy and this just, oh, someone else will take care of it kind of thing. But then nothing ever changes and you get frustrated. So, that could be if you want to lose weight or whatever it is going on, or what's going on in the collective. If you don't like what you're seeing politically, maybe get out there, write letters to your senators, do whatever, do something, like take inspired action. Don't just sit around and wait. And the riskier the action, the greater the reward. So it kind of goes back to the last card where it was like, okay, well, we're just going to like clear out all the stuff going on in your life. You're going to feel like shit for a while, but then the reward is greater. So it's like, would you rather just be in this complacent, comfortable life where everything's easy and boring, or would you like to have highs and lows? I would rather have highs and lows, because if I experience the low, then that means I'm going to experience the equivalent high. I get bored. I don't want to just... So that's interesting. And then alternatively, are you risking too much too often? Because that will definitely like divide the energy. If you could focus your energy more, that could be an alternative message. If you feel like, I'm not being lazy, I'm going out there, I'm kicking ass, well, are you spreading yourself too thin maybe? Should you kind of focus and get one thing completed before you just go on to the next? Okay, so let's do what can we expect of our world in the next 6 months? 6 months as a major theme. And then anything else we should know. So I have 2 final decks. We're using the 2 Starseed Oracle decks right now. So we're going to do 1 for each question. So what can we expect of our world in the next 6 months as a major theme, and then anything else that we should know about? Okay. Let's pull from this deck now. See. Okay. So the first one, what can we expect of our world in the next 6 months as a major theme? And I pulled karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. I think that was pretty obvious that was what we were going to get. But again, sometimes these conflicts and these issues, not sometimes, all the time, like we've been talking about, they're creating room for new, better things. So it says that the constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many starseeds who were part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth right now as starseeds, playing out karmic relationships from the Orion times. Perhaps you're one of them. I think a lot of us have heard about the Orion Wars. If not, that's a great rabbit hole to go down on the internet. If you're bored, DuckDuckGo, the Orion Wars, or YouTube. Some pretty interesting channelings from those times. It really sparked a lot of memory for me. Polarity causes conflict and highlights separation. However, because of this, conflict can also result in unity and growth. Too many misunderstandings are caused when we don't open our heart and mind and see things from a different point of view. When we go into reactive second-guessing mode instead of gathering the courage to open our heart, we should admit that we may have reacted because of our own woundings and then find mutual ground. We're all innocent children looking to be seen, understood, and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart. And yet, that's the invitation of conflict. It's easy to react and take things personally. It's more challenging to see the innocence of all involved and find a way to grow closer through the conflict. It's through relationships that we grow the most. So that kind of goes back to the whole pulling yourself out of your body and looking down at like SimCity characters and cutting the energetic involvement we have with things sometimes. How can you soften your heart and drop your defenses enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see similarities rather than differences? When we pull ourselves back into that third person perspective and detach personally and look at it from an outside perspective, that can sometimes help. Because then we stop projecting blame and our trauma on the person that hurt us. And, you know, it's not easy to do, but then it kind of allows us to see from where they're coming from. And that doesn't always help, but sometimes it gives us a little bit of clarity. It reduces anger and frustration. Which relationships do you find the most challenging? How can you see things from a different perspective? How are you being called to allow growth through the conflict? For me, I feel like it's not reacting right away when something happens and I get angry or something. It's more like, you know, taking a minute before I respond, you know, and taking a minute to think things through, not just react and say something in anger. That is a big challenge for me. So then the last card, anything else, was I pulled the card Protection. And it says, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. So let's look and see what this says. I feel like now's a really good time to be doing inner work. All of us individually, because like I said, that just really reflects back out into the whole, into the collective. Okay, so you're being called to protect your energy and call back your power. May all the lost pieces return home now. Take a look at who and what drains your energy. Do not keep your tabs open. Shut down energetically each night. Energetic cords are formed between people, places, objects, and events, so it's important to keep checking in. Your energy and energetic space are sacred, so treat them as such. Keeping your energy clear takes work. As we go through life, we can give away our power, so it's important that we call it back by cutting energetic cords or doing a form of healing known as soul retrieval. Can you think of a traumatic event, relationship, or soul memory that you're being called to call back your power from? Check into your body now and see which chakra feels like it needs a bit of an energetic cleanup. So it says, hold the card on the chakra or chakras that need cleaning and repeat the following. So you can place your hand over which chakra you feel this card is speaking to. I call back any lost soul fragments, power or light now. Any vows, soul contracts, hexes, or programs from the past or present, from this life or others, that are not in the highest good of all, I relinquish now. Any power or light that I've willingly or unwillingly given away or had taken from me, I call back now. Any cords or attachments from this life or others, I release now for the highest good of all. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. So that's an important idea to think about, where it said from past lives that may be affecting us. And the card before was just about the Orion Wars and like having past life memory of being basically replaying the same thing on Earth right now. So this could be affecting us on an energetic, subconscious level. We have no conscious memory of our past lives, but if we experienced a similar trauma and now we're reliving it, playing out again, like that can be bringing things up for us that we weren't even consciously aware of. So really just going into meditation and feeling into that. And then, yeah, going through any relationships, recent traumas, issues, what's been coming up for you. Feeling which chakra you feel the most wounded by. And then just placing your hands and sending love. I am sending Reiki, and I really hope this reading and meditation helped at least someone. Okay, that's pretty much it for the cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed this meditation today. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Links to leave me a donation or tip are in the description below. It's paypal.me/BellaImelda and Cash App BellaImelda. Deeply appreciate any donation or tips you guys want to send. Thank you so much. I love you. If you're interested in booking a private remote session with me, please email me at bella_imelda@yahoo.com. My menu is in the description below. I do remote Reiki healing. I do tarot, oracle, or combination, whatever you feel like doing. Just check it out. Book a session. I think you really like it. My private sessions go really well, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback recently. So yeah, let me know if you're interested and you want to book. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And I really hope everyone takes a moment today to just go in and honor yourself and then honor those who've fallen. Honor 9/11 as the event and send love out to the collective. Remember that if we can stop living in a state of fear and start living as if we're already in the future that we desire and we seek, if we start living as that future self and stop holding on to the pain and retelling the story of the pain, existing in the pain, then the timelines will collapse and we'll all find ourselves back to where we want to be. So keep your chin up. We're getting there one way or another, no matter how bad it looks. All right, I love you guys so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.